I greet all my wonderful friends around the world. It is such a privilege to meet you all and so many people around the world that I met with Zoom and the Kingdom Coaching from South Korea, Netherlands, Australia, America, all around the world. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for allowing Jesus to connect us and then to walk this walk of faith together. You know, one of the beautiful things is about the mission that we are all on. We are on the same journey. We all started in one place and we have to walk it through. And you can make this journey joyful, or you can just make it one big disaster. But whatever you have to do, you have to walk out the scroll. And in life, I've already taught you about the two trees. Now, this is the tree of life, the tree that Jesus Christ gave his life for, so that we can have this life, and not only just life, but life in abundance. But then we also have this tree, and this is the tree where the tree of good and evil, the pride, the arrogance, the self, and part of our core are wrapped in this dark scroll. So we live this dark scroll, but Jesus says, no, I have this scroll for you, your eternal dance of life. Now, you know, if I can give advice to young people and even to my judge, to people that start the journey to clean out their womb and start living kingdom life. So I'm just going to talk about a principle of kingdom life, because you see, as God knitted us together in our mother's womb, we are also knitted with a dark scroll of our family scroll. So things that has been done but never repented. So that scroll are still in us. And I will kind of call it nature, because character, Jesus said, I want you to have my image and my likeness. So God's great character in us. The laminin in the bottom of our cells. So when you look at a pond of water or a dam of water, it's really raining so beautifully here in Cape Town now at this moment. And it's just amazing when I opened my windows this morning and the doors of my room, and I looked over Stellenbosch, and it is mist and rain and cold. And, you know, in South Africa, our homes are not central heating like in America. So we need to put some warm clothes on in the home. But it's fine, and it's just nice to do that. But you know, when you walk in the mountain now, you'll find ponds of water. Now, I saw my little dog the other day. I took him out for a walk because it was raining so much, and I thought, let him quickly go for a walk. And he stood at one of the ponds of water, and he stared at himself because the sun came through and he could see himself in the pond. And I could see he's doing this, and he could see himself in the pond. And as I was standing there and looking at this, the Lord started speaking to me, and he said to me, do you see whatever happens in the water, whatever you have, it come back to you. If you smile at the water smiles back. If you do this to the water do that back. If you do that, the water do that back to you. So this is one of kingdom principles. If you are critical to people, this is what you will find. People will be critical back to you. And when you smile, yes, people will smile back to you. Whatever you glared at, that specific one will glare back to you. And when you stretch a hand, they may help you. That hand will be stretched out back to you. And this is the law of reflection. But I actually call it one of the laws of life, one of kingdom laws. What you do to others will be done back to you. And as you bless, you will be blessed. And as you withhold blessing, blessings will be withheld from you. And if you live by just taking, yes, it will be taken from you. Condemn others, and you will be condemned. But as you forgive others, you will be forgiven. If you live with a closed hand, his hand will be closed. If you live with an open hand, his hand will be open to you. What you give will be given back. And what you take will be taken back. And therefore, live this life of love by giving, by blessing, with compassion, with an open heart, with an open hand. And whatever you do, remember what you saw here. Live your life in the view of what you see in this water. So the mission that God is saying to us, the kingdom principle is, what you seek from life and from others today, make it your goal to give to others that very, very same thing. Maybe you are seeking somebody to love, that somebody can just love you or understand you. Go out and give an ear to somebody. You know, I travel the world, and I sat one day on a plane, I think it was on my way to America, and two young girls sat next to me. No, I came back. Yes, I came back. And two young girls sat next to me. And they were on their way to South Africa for a mission trip and doing some university work. And they went for this mission trip in Africa and do their work. And then they was on their way to Cape Town. And they said, but we don't know where we're going to stay there. And they're just students. And the Lord said to me, look after them. And I said, this is my address. You can come. You can stay with me. And when you come in Cape Town, phone me and I'll be there for you. We picked them up at the airport, stayed with us. And the Lord just opened my heart that I could minister a little bit to them. And off they went again. And surely enough, there was a day when I ministered in one of the countries in the East. And it was a time where it was many years ago of the tsunami. And I ministered there in the tsunami time and helped there. And in Banda Aceh, where the tsunami hit, and we had to leave quickly because the rebels took over, and we need to leave quickly. And we had nowhere to go because our flight actually back to South Africa was in a couple of days. But as soon as we got onto the plane and we sat there, a guy next to me asked, so what are you doing here and from where are you? And I told him, you know, we're from Africa, but we had to go out because the rebels took over, and now we kind of don't know where to go because our flight's only leaving in 2 days out of Singapore. And he said, you know, you guys can stay with me tonight. He took us in and he looked after us. In fact, my suitcase was stolen on the way, and gave me clothes, money to buy clothes, dressed me, get us on the plane again. And within a day, we were flying back to South Africa. And on the way back, I just realized this. What you do to others, one day there will come a day that exactly that will come back to you. And this is something that I try to teach my Josh. You know, life is not about you. Life is not about everything that is perfect in your life. If you want life to look out for you, Christ, the goodness of God to always come back to you, you need seed in the ground. This is such an important kingdom principle. Life is not about yourself. Remember to always sow. And as I've already said, it's not always money. It is sowing out of the heart. And this is what the scripture in Galatians said. It says, God will never be mocked, for what you plant will always be the very thing that you will harvest. And the harvest you reap reveals the seed that was planted. Just stop for a moment and look in your life what's coming up. Look at what's coming up out of your mouth. And don't only repent of that, but go and take the whole tree out, the root of that. Because you don't want to give that every day over your children and over your family. Because what you sow is what you're gonna reap, but they're gonna give it to their children again. You know that saying, broken fathers break their children, and broken children become broken fathers and mothers again. It's a circle. You need to stop that circle somewhere. One day this woman entered into my home and she asked if I would pray for her. And she had cancer. And Aldo came in and he wanted to pray with. And he said this word. He says, Mom, she needs to be baptized because all over her in the spirit, she stinks. I said, what do you mean? He said, there's like, when you throw up, he says, she's filled with the throwing up of somebody. Somebody's words covers her and makes her sick. The toxic of those words makes her sick. And sometimes in life, we need to look at our situation and say, Lord, what am I planting today? So the harvest you reap reveals the seed that was planted. And if you plant corrupt seed of self-life into the natural realm, you can expect to experience a harvest of corruption. If you want to say to me today, my life is falling apart, my friend, that's the word iniquity. It's a harvest of seed that was planted for years. It was planted by words, by deeds, and never repented. If you look around the world, the seed that are coming up, the ground cries out. And whatever are planted in our lives will come up. So if you see something in your children, don't scream at them. First take this hand and put it in and say, Lord Jesus, what did I sow? What did my generation sow? And go and look at that. Also in Luke, it speaks of it. And it says, forsake the habit of criticizing and judging others, and then you will not be criticized and judged in return. Don't look at others and pronounce them guilty, and you will not experience guilty accusations against yourself. Forgive over and over, and you will be forgiven over and over. Give generously, and generous gifts will be given back to you, shaken down to make room for more. Abundant gifts will pour out upon you with such an overflowing measure that it will run over the top. Your measurement of generosity becomes the measurement of your return. It's a law of life, my friend. It's a kingdom principle. I think sometimes people say this to me, but why doesn't God hear my prayers? Why doesn't God answer my prayers? It's not about that. This is a law. Whatever's inside of your ground, that is going to come up. So we need to be busy every day, cleaning up, testing our own hearts, looking out for what we sow. And it's so beautiful where Aldo one day wrote a letter and he said, Mom, wisdom said to me, life is not about me. It's not about me. It's all about him. You can go and look on Amazon, on our web store, a book that Aldo wrote for teenagers. Every day, a little piece with a letter together with that. And this is just something that I really enjoyed. Even as an adult, I enjoy sometimes just reading and see the purity, how God even wants to teach our children from that age to start living a kingdom life. I bless you, my friend, with a wonderful day in the presence of the Most High God. God's will, we speak tomorrow.